Hello and welcome to Broken Mind and Growing Confidence. This is Claire Edelston from Positive Life Workshops, and this is funded by the National Lottery Community Fund thanks to the government. This week I'm going to talk about natural living and the type of things that I did and the reasoning behind why I started to make the change into living a more natural life. So when I had kids, that's when it started. I started to want to have more natural things because obviously the delicate skin, newborn babies, you don't want to be putting chemicals and things like that on them. And then when I did a bit more research, I realised that nappies were like really bad, and I'd seen friends' children have really bad reaction to the chemicals in nappies. So I started to investigate the different options of cloth nappies. Now that was probably the massive trigger to me starting to live a more natural life and to be a bit more aware of what I was putting on my body and a bit more aware of what products I was putting on my skin. So I wasn't putting any sort of chemicals on the kids, but when I looked at what I was using on myself, there were so many chemicals, and I was breastfeeding, so in reality those chemicals are going from me to my child, and if I don't want my child to have those chemicals on their body, why would I put them onto my body? And I started to look into the different options for myself as well. So cloth nappies kind of took over my life for quite a while, and I'll openly admit it, I was a cloth nappy addict. My children had the most fancy embroidered cloth nappies available, and I felt proud that I was doing that for my children, and it wasn't really about the eco side of it, although that was something that was in my mind. It was more about the products and the chemicals and the natural things that I wanted to do. So it didn't save me any money by all means, because I spent a fortune on having these nice cloth nappies with press studs that fitted nice, and they're doing a lot of research as to what means what, because it's not just these cloth squares anymore that you fold up, which are actually still quite good when they're newborn because they're only tiny. But there's a whole world out there of different things. When you start to investigate it, it's a massive world. So I have a friend called Lisa who has a website called Birth to Potty. I will post the link in the show notes, and you can have an investigation of some of the cloth nappies there, because they are exciting. And Lisa has been an absolute amazing guide for myself in setting up my community interest company. So even before I considered setting up my community interest company, and it wasn't even in my mind when I was still actually with my abusive ex-partner, I met Lisa when I was doing the cloth nappies, and Lisa kind of gave me that inspiration to know that there's a better life out there. I went to her groups, I went to the baby massage, we went to the cloth nappy groups and the baby wearing groups and things like that. And it was a whole new world, and it was a world that I enjoyed. It was very my style, and what I liked, the people, the way of life. That was my start to living more naturally, was the cloth nappies and being around people who were expressing themselves in a way that I felt like I wasn't able to do at the time. I wasn't confident enough to do at the time, rather than not being able to do at the time. It's having the confidence to know that you can be what you want to be. And I wanted to be that natural mum who had breastfed her kids and let them wear cloth nappies. I talked about it in my other episode. I even used to hand paint them t-shirts and make them hand-dyed wool skirts, and I like making things for the kids. It gave me my escape from what was going on around me that I didn't enjoy, and having the obsession of the cloth nappies and things like that, and being able to sit and talk to all the people who were like-minded, who enjoyed the same kind of things as me, it opens your eyes to a whole new world. And then with the products that I was using on myself, I started to look more deeply into that. I know nowadays there's different natural products around, but I would always go for something that's vegan and natural, not tested on animals, obviously. There's loads of different companies around. You've got Tropic, I know Aileen usually does Tropic, and there's Lyndsey who does the Nelseyard remedies. And these are all the different kind of things that come available over the years. I know Nelseyard's been around for a long, long time. And it's using these types of things on my body that are natural, and they've not got all these chemicals in them, makes a massive difference. I mean, at the minute, I have got my nails painted, I've got my nails done, but I even went to the point where I wouldn't wear nail polish because that was putting chemicals on my skin. And now I'm feeling like I need to take my nail polish off. No, I'm not. I absolutely love my nails. Kirsty's done my nails and she's done them to match my hair with my logo on, and I am so excited about them. But that's something else that I've started allowing myself to do. It's a lot. I'm okay to spend money on having my nails done and things like that. Whereas in the past, I wouldn't have spent that money on myself. It would have been on something for the kids. I wouldn't have allowed myself to kind of treat myself. And it's only growing and accepting that it's doing these things and this self-care and the looking after yourself. So it might not necessarily be going getting your nails done. It might be spending that time meditating and relaxing and like doing your self-care, having a bath, making sure that you spend that time actually thinking about what's going on, setting your intentions, using it wisely instead of just having a quick wash and jumping out and getting out. It's kind of stepping into the moment rather than just using a bath as self-care. It's actually using it as self-care, the bigger picture. Don't just look at it as self-care done off, because I meditated every night for 8 years. Still, well, I say 8 years all the time. It's probably much longer than that now, and I still meditate regularly every night. But it's once you start doing these things regular, then it becomes routine, and then it isn't self-care. So it is doing little bits and pieces like having my nails done extra that allows myself to continue that self-care process. Sometimes that self-care process is letting myself buy that little extra bit of makeup from Nails Yard or Tropic and things like that. And it's very important. The things that we put on our skin, they're being absorbed into us. If you're putting loads of chemicals on your skin and loads of chemicals and loads of chemicals, we don't know how that's affecting our mental health. We don't know, because it's not, I can't imagine it's something that's been measured and tested or something that is able to be measured and tested. But I know it's one of the things that I've done in my life that I feel has made a difference, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. It's doing these things naturally and having the natural life and that natural process is allowed me to be more free, enjoy my life more, and not be constrained by I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that. I still do need this and that, but I don't need it all. I've got what I need, and that's my important focus. So it's just living more naturally. Just be a bit more conscious about what your choices are. And I know that using normal nappies is quicker and faster, and they're just disposable, aren't they? You don't have to deal with the poo and the wee, and you don't have to wash them and dry them. And I know that, but you're still putting all those chemicals into your body, and then it's going into landfill. That it's not going anywhere, it's just going into landfill. So these are the bigger aspects of us living more naturally. Even the products that we buy, it's even the plastics that they're in. It's a whole new world of living naturally, is cutting back on all these different things, not allowing all this stuff to build up around us. I'm not getting stressed out about it, because if you get stressed out about it and think about it too much, then it's going to take over and it's going to become a negative thing. It's just taking it step by step, a process that you're happy to do. So if you're happy to use a natural deodorant and that's your first step you want to try, then try that. If that to use scary, a natural deodorant, whatever smell, whatever. If that's not the first step for you, then that's not the first step for you. If getting that more natural lipstick is the first step for you, then try that. It's just slow process. It's like learning to meditate. It's like learning everything else. A slow process builds up to a massive, beautiful picture. And that's what it's about. Taking those steps. I'm not saying stop using nappies, stop doing this, stop doing that. But it's just having the thought about it. What are we putting onto our skin? What are we putting into our bodies? What products are we using? Even to what we wash our hair with. Now, I probably shouldn't say this when I've got my hair dyed multicoloured, but I do use lots of natural products. I've never been one for using loads of products on my hair and things like that and loads of chemicals. I use a vegan shampoo and conditioner. I use a vegan soap. And it's these little changes that all add up to the bigger, nicer picture. There's loads of different ways that we can start living more naturally. It's not just about the products that we put on our body, even things like sanitary towels and tampons and things like that. All this stuff is not natural. And I know that I'm not the only one who doesn't like wearing a sanitary towel. doing the cloth nappying and using cloth nappies opened my eyes up to things like cloth sanitary towels. So cloth sanitary towels, obviously, you're washing nappies, so you might as well wash the cloth sanitary towels as well. Once you get used to it, you know what? It's much more comfortable, much, much more comfortable. And there's not only cloth sanitary towels out there, there's loads of different things. So I actually use a moon cup now, which is like a silicone cup, and it's just so much more comfortable. I don't get anywhere near as many period pains since I started using the moon cup, and I don't have to buy sanitary towels each month or tampons. It's just there ready, and you wash it and you sanitize it and you clean it and you use it again. And when I've spoke to people about this in the past, they've gone, "Ooh, I'm not doing that." And when I first heard about it, I was a bit, "Ooh," but when you kind of the comfort side of things, it's much more comfortable, and it's really easy to use once you get used to it. And it's more natural, and it helps reduce the pain. I really feel like it does help reduce the pain. So it's using different things in our lives that are more natural, but that actually of benefit to us on the planet. I've not used a sanitary towel or a tampon for 10 years, if not more. And that's a lot of waste not gone into landfill. And I've done that. And I'm quite proud of that. I've not thought about that before. But it's these little things that add to this bigger picture that I keep talking about. And it's these things that we're doing in our lives that allow it. So I'm giving back to the earth by not throwing that away like that and not doing it the same way as everybody else is doing it, and not joining in that negative circle of waste and non-recyclable items. I'm doing it in a more natural way. We're very close-minded sometimes in the West. Sometimes it's just good to have our eyes open to these things. I mean, I think back in the day they used to go back into caves. I'd love to go in a cave for a week when I was due on and just hide out the way for that week and then let it all pass and then come out again on the other side. That'd make things nice and give me some quiet time and space to think. But it's not ideal in this modern day and age. So it's just doing the things that we can do to kind of stick to our roots and to stick to our roots and to stay along that natural way of life rather than coming into the modern society of anxiety, stress, chemicals, all the pharmaceuticals going on and all the different stuff going on out there that we can't control. So in natural life and enjoying it, and like I said, it's just taking those little choices. I'm not asking you to start using cloth nappies if you've got 5 kids in nappies and things like that. It's just making them little switches, like using cloth wipes to wipe the faces instead of the disposable wipes. Getting the teens to use reusable makeup wipes instead of the disposable wipes as well. Things like that. It's just allowing people to have that access to have a more natural life and to enjoy life, because having a more natural life really does make life much, much more enjoyable. Well, in my eyes, it does. And hopefully something out of this you might take, and even if it's just a little tiny bit, make a little change to your life and see how this natural way of living makes a difference to you. If you want any help looking at the different things in your life that you can change, different aspects of your life that you could be a bit more natural in, then you can always give me a message and book in for a one-to-one session. That's something I would love to discuss with you, see what you're doing at the minute and how we can progress to start living a bit more naturally. Thanks for listening to this week's episode. Leave us a review, subscribe, come and join the Facebook page, Positive Life Workshops Community Interest Company. Membership and the mini courses will be available soon. We also have a group, Broken Mind and Growing Confidence, as well as the Ladies Wellbeing group. Thank you for listening to Broken Mind and Growing Confidence.